Every now and then you hear a story that it doesn't seem real. It sounds like something out of a comic book or a movie. Well, today we're diving into one of those stories, a tale of survival that completely defies all logic and probability. Okay, so let's be clear about something. Being anywhere near the center of an atomic bomb going off is, for all practical purposes, a death sentence. The heat, the pressure wave, the radiation, it's a level of destruction that's hard to even wrap your head around. So yeah, to survive one of those is an absolute miracle. But to survive two, that's not just a miracle, it's statistically impossible. The chances are so tiny, they're basically zero. But what if I told you that one man's life just laughs in the face of those statistics? A man who stood at the heart of that inferno not just once, but twice. So our story kicks off in a city whose name would forever be linked with nuclear war. We have to go back to the final, chaotic days of World War II, to Hiroshima. All right, there are two dates you gotta remember here. August 6th and August 9th, 1945. They're only 3 days apart, but for one man, those 3 days would contain a lifetime of horror and survival. And here he is. This is our guide, Tsutomu Yamaguchi. He wasn't a soldier or anything like that. He was a 29-year-old engineer working for Mitsubishi, and he was just in Hiroshima on a business trip, getting ready to head back home. And then, at 8:15 in the morning, while he's just walking along, the whole sky just rips open. The atomic bomb, the one they called Little Boy, explodes. And Yamaguchi? He's less than 2 miles from ground zero, close enough to see that blinding flash and just feel the world completely erupt around him. I mean, can you even imagine? The force of the blast literally threw him into the air. It ruptured his eardrums, and the whole left side of his body was just scorched by the heat. He was blinded, in terrible pain, and all around him was just nothing. Total devastation. And yet, somehow, he survived. Stumbling through the ash and the ruins of a city that was there 1 second and gone the next, he actually managed to find a bomb shelter. He had lived through the first atomic bomb. Now, after going through something like that, you'd think a person would just be paralyzed, frozen with fear. But what Tsutomu Yamaguchi decided to do next is what takes the story to a whole other level of unbelievable. Seriously, this is insane. On August 7th, the very next day, a wounded, bandaged Yamaguchi picks his way through all that chaos to a train station that was somehow still running. He just wanted to get home to his wife and his son, in his hometown of Nagasaki. And this is where the story shifts from just being miraculous to being completely and utterly surreal. He'd just escaped one atomic hell, only to get on a train and head straight into the path of another one. So 2 days later, August 9th, Yamaguchi is back in the office at Mitsubishi in Nagasaki. He's covered in bandages, trying to explain to his boss what he just saw in Hiroshima. The crazy flash of light, the mushroom cloud, a whole city just turning to dust. And you have to remember, this kind of weapon was brand new. No one could comprehend it. His boss was just looking at him, totally skeptical, asking how a single bomb could possibly destroy an entire city. The whole idea just sounded like science fiction. So as Yamaguchi is struggling to explain the unimaginable at that exact moment, history decides to give his boss a terrifying live demonstration. The window blows in. That same familiar blinding white light fills the entire room. The second atomic bomb, Fat Man, had just gone off over Nagasaki. And in the cruelest twist of fate you can imagine, his office was, again, just under 2 miles from ground zero. His bandages were blown right off him. He was knocked over by the blast, but this time, the building's structure gave him just enough cover. He survived. Again. He had now lived through 2 nuclear detonations in 72 hours. Now, you might be hearing this and thinking it sounds like some kind of legend that's been passed down, but it's not. This incredible story is a matter of official government record. Just look at the breakdown. It's unreal. Hiroshima, August 6th, Little Boy bomb, less than 2 miles away. The result? Severe burns, deafness. Then Nagasaki, August 9th, Fat Man bomb, same distance. Result? More injuries. The terrifying symmetry of it all is just staggering. For decades, he was officially known as a hibakusha, a survivor of the Nagasaki bombing. But then, in 2009, the Japanese government officially changed his records. He is the only person officially recognized by the government as having survived both atomic bombings. But his story doesn't just end with surviving. It goes on for decades, and it becomes this powerful testament to something really deep in the human spirit. Get this. Tsutomu Yamaguchi, the man who survived 2 nuclear bombs, lived to be 93 years old. He passed away in 2010. Despite all the radiation, he lived a long, full life, and he actually became a vocal advocate for getting rid of nuclear weapons. You know, if you ever need a definition for the word resilience, forget the dictionary. Just look up the story of Tsutomu Yamaguchi. His life is the absolute embodiment of withstanding the unthinkable and just refusing to be broken by it. And that really leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? In a world that can feel so fragile, his story is this profound, almost unbelievable reminder of how tough the human will can be. It just makes you ask, what does one impossible life teach all of us about our own ability to endure?